court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Willpowers.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please.
The prosecution will show the court that 2:30 p.m. on October 15th, the defendant, Mr. Willpowers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studio. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact.
I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony then. Mr. Edgeworth, the prosecution may call its first witness.
Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court.
Yes, sir. I explain with the guide map here. To understand in this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studio. See? This here is the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scene during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studio. The security lady that works at the studio here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station, there is a gate. See? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder, where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15th, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Willpowers, and a young woman, the production assistant. And all the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim, Jack Hammer, went to the Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m., the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear was found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again?
Should I listen to the whole thing again?
Nah, it's okay. I think I could probably remember that. So the murder weapon was a spear. How medieval. Samurai spear added to the court record.
Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see?
Understood.
Let's call the security officer to the stand. Will the witness declare her name?
Oh my, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh, dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Your name, please. Seems Edgeworth has a bit of trouble getting his witness to say their names.
Wendy, Oldbag, dearie. Oh, so just call me as when I was the old grandma. Still how the old children will make it believe in. But there was this boy that captain of the chase. He called him Oldbag. Well, this kind.
Objection! I object to the witness's talkativeness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
Oh, I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to the testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, see, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you?
Oh, you know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony. She sure is one hell of an old bag.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest have been doing a run through there since the morning.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now the murder happened at 2:30, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers. That man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Oh. I didn't mean to click on that, but sure, why not? Why not save it? Very well, let's begin the cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a round through there since the morning. I have some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 when I got to the gate station.
What was the errand, let's ask? What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers. Observing, you know.
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whisper Snapper, I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
I'm not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs. Always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run through too. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up a guard duty then. Not a bad idea.
Anyway, it was 1 p.m. when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5. Now the murder happened at 2:30, right? Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
Well, let's show her this. Powers' photo. Everyone ready? 3, 2, 1, objection! Let me get this straight, Oldbag. Miss Oldbag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, are you not? Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly? None other than the Steel Samurai defender of Neo Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, Sonny? Anyone can plainly saw that's Powers, right?
No, they can't. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. However, that does not mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, witness. He's having trouble calling her Oldbag, apparently. However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. The prosecution would like to take as the witness. Please make known all the information in your prosecution ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me that this isn't any good evidence, pal. He didn't even give a second look.
Wow, old Windbag has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good. Well, let's hear about your proof then.
I never said anything. I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That old morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now, look at this photo. You can't see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
So he had sprained his ankle? Very well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. She got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals.
I never said anything out of me, mind you. That morning, during the round-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was big mess. Press.
He broke a prop.
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
His samurai spear, the murder weapon?
Luckily, I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
This strikes me as a significant detail. I'll better write this down to the court record. The samurai weapon, or samurai spear, it's the murder weapon. A break and the shaft has been mended with duct tape.
Apparently, he sprained his ankle pretty bad. You can see he's dragging his legs, see? Clear as day.
Are you absolutely sure? Let's take a look at the picture again. So he was walking strangely because he was injured. It doesn't look like he was dragging his foot.
See? And you didn't trust me, Whispersnapper. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
Still, you can't look at this and say it's Mr. Powers. Yes, but only Mr. Powers would have been dragging his legs. He has a point. It does seem quite likely that it was Powers. There's got to be more to this. I would better keep pressing her. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Thus, the nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot, okay. With foot in the leg? Does it look like honestly, to me, it doesn't look like he's dragging. Oh. Well, Nick, find any glaring contradictions? Well, she seems pretty sure that it was Powers in that photo. I guess I will just have to press it. Just press it, press it. Trip and fall?
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped to make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better.
I kissed him where it hurt.
Let's just skip over that part, shall we? Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about the Powers ankle.
You may continue your testimony. I think we have heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor? Well, there's one thing that bothers me, which is, where is this Steel Samurai costume now? Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? And it is clear that the person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers. I suppose that's right. Are you sure you're sure, Your Honor? 3, 2, 1. Objection! Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows a Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers. The defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else had not caught on camera could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility as well. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
Oh, no need to ask twice. The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m. True. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
So if no one else went to the studio, they would have to be the still samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Let me just see. Hammer's death was at 2:30. Okay. The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. Press. Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all.
Nobody suspicious looking. Right.
No one else went there.
Press. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before one? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Not to mention, if they had, I would have seen them.
Are you sure? The witness have answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let him have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy?
Old Windbag sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean.
Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all, or for that matter entirely forgetting them. How convenient. Something for you to look forward to, perhaps?
The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true?
Wait, what is it? Why is she asking me? How do you know that?
Didn't I just explain? I gave donut to the young detective, and then, after some rubbish about the being a secret pal, he told me everything.
I see Detective Gumshoe shares his fellow officer's fondness for donuts.
The only person I saw to go to the studio before then was Will Powers.
Oh, and then objection? No? Oh, yeah. I think we did this one. If they had, I would have seen them. Well, it must be something that we are not seeing here. Main gate. I feel like it has to be the guide map. I may be wrong, but I pressed everything I can. Objection? It's not right. The music is still going. Yoink. I'll present this. I got it. Ha 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 ha. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studio, correct?
Yes, sirree, Sonny.
So whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And here, I thought you didn't know you were hit from a hole in the ground.
Right. Well, anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records our security cam data.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at the studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Note that on the back of the photo are printed in the words October 15, 2 p.m. photo number 2.
Even I know what that means. It was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny.
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is a bit of the end where it says photo number 2.
Photo number 2?
The computer only held the data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1? If it was only the number... I mean, if it really was the only photo. Order. Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright. Actually, that's what I wanted to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not only 1, but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only 1 data for the photo. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access to security lady herself.
Me? Watch your mouth, whisper snapper. The only person I saw that was Will Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by.
Well, yes, that's what it seems to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these new fragile computer things. Edgy boy, help.
Huh? Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help, viewer. You're a whisper snapper too.
Whisper snapper? Something the matter, Miss Oldbag?
Ah, that's right. I just remember something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate? Someone other than the Steel Samurai.
Well, yes. I suppose you could put it that way.
Well, I see. Your testimony, please.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that are suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Miss Oldbag, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny. I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I would say this was a turnout for the unexpected, but I kind of expected this.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one other important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that are suspicious looking, you see.
How exactly do you determine what isn't suspicious looking?
Oh, you can tell by looking at their faces, for the most part.
For the most part? This is murder trial, Miss Oldbag.
Well, I didn't touch that suspicious looking Will Powers photo, did I?
I think she's missing the point.
Come to think of it, I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Oh, hey, Troy Salmon! Welcome back for 20 months! Thank you, y'all. Can I roll out? Thank y'all. Well, who in the heck was in the photo that you erased?
Huh, a fanboy.
A fanboy?
Still samurai fanboys, real freaks, if you ask me. They get information about the rehearsals from gosh knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day.
Wait a second! Didn't you just say that no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside. Well, that's where they come in.
They come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. And they're kids, children, whisper snappers.
Kids? So on the photo that you erased?
It was a boy, probably like 2nd or 3rd grade.
What? Order! Order! Let me get this straight. You saw two people pass by the gate on their way to the studio that day. One was a steel samurai dragging his leg. The other was a boy who looked to be in about second or third grade.
Oh, yes. Well, we see his time there every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
A boy in second or third grade. I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield a samurai spear. Impossible, I would think. It's quite heavy.
Right, as I said, I didn't pay much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on? I mean, the boy was there. That makes him a suspect.
Yeah, and they're already trying to unsuspect him. This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And no forgetting viral information this time. October 18th, 11:08 a.m. District Court, Defendant, Lobby Uno. No, section number 3. Mr. Powers? Yes? Tell me straight. Were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio? I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honestly.
So, who was the steel samurai in the security photo?
How would I know? The steel samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a steel samurai costume. So, where does this leave me? It doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First, we play for some more time. We'll start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And it will take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right. But if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot. You don't sound very optimistic. I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey, Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go. What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that. Is totally legit legal play 100% allowed? I mean, it is actually legal plays to get more time so they can gather more evidence so the case can go to their favor. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Willpowers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed.
The other person who went to the studio was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed the crime. I call a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Willpowers. Very well, Mr. Wright, your thoughts? The defense disagree with the prosecution's claim. There is another person who could have committed this crime. Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized. Right, great. As if this was safe. Right, great. As if the stakes were high enough. So who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed the murder? I mean, it's the security lady, right? I got it. It was the security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Huh? The steel samurai is dragging his leg in the picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about that injury.
The security.
Oh wait. The security lady! Oldbag!
What? Whisper Snapper.
Order! Order! Is that true, Oldbag?
Oldbag, that's Miss Oldbag to you.
Miss Oldbag was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the samurai costume, then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder. Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the steel samurai costume? Simple, Your Honor. She knew the camera at the gate would take in her photo. If she was in his costume, she would point the finger at Mr. Powers. I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright. Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes number 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter? The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so you all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there. Do something.
That's my move. Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. I mean... If we don't press further... We're not gonna give Granny a break. The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldbag's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forget that Mr. Powers likes a clear motive as well. Indeed. That did it. Now Windbag is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy? The one whose photo I erased?
He's only a grade schooler, though, as you said. 2nd or 3rd grade, was it?
That doesn't matter. When I was that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright? That boy is not the killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids that mean to your elders day, Whisper Snapper?
I have a proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder? Question mark. Isn't it because pierced through the chest and the kid cannot reach it? It has to be. It has to be. Oh. Okay. I don't know. Let's present the key, because they need the key. The scene of the murder, as all we know, was Studio 1. However, you need a card key to enter Studio 1. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a card key? I see. Well, would the witness care to comment on this? The Windbag speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceeding on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Wendy. What was her name again? Something Oldbag, Your Honor. Then the prosecution will look further into this Oldbag before we continue. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Wait a second. I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree. Me. I'm talking.
Oh great. Stop the press. The Windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
No, not to talk about? By whom? Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her that? Well, testify.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something. There were some other people at the studio on the day of murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why didn't you keep this form? Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't just been listening. They told me to shut my trap, so I always do what I'm told.
No, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the Oldbag.
Global Studio wanted me to keep quiet about something.
So you were told not to talk.
That's right, by the studio and the TV big whiz, no less.
Why didn't I hear about this?
Don't be so hard on yourself, Sonny. We were all in on it.
What did I say?
We were all in on it. There were some other people at the studio on the day of the murder.
Who are these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The director. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action without a director? Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
So, where were these people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime and they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2?
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left.
The path where the monkey's head was fallen over. Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue your cross-examination? I think I already asked all my questions, but I guess
they said they had nothing to do with it, see?
Miss Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it, and they gave me a little bonus on the side.
So you got your bonus and you're still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have asked. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at the Global Studios on the day in question. The director and the producer and there some big whiz were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant, Mr. Powers. The court acknowledges the defendant's points. The prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldbag, and more information about these other people who have just been told of. I understand, Your Honor. This ends today's proceedings in the trials of Mr. Real Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned. October 18th, 1:04 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lovino Motori. Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask to defend me.
Oh, really? It's nothing.
Oh, or should I? We'll be going down to the studios to do some investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witness for certain. So now's any chance to get material for the cross-examination. So Nick,
Have you figured out just who it was in that steel samurai costume? Could it really have been an old windbag? What do you think, Mr. Powers? I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off of Mr. Powers.
Poor old windbag. I feel kind of sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there with or without my accusation. Okay, well, let's get down to the studios.
Right. We'll be back to visit you very soon.
Thanks, guys. To be continued.